enough to walk away the victors in one on a last possession, and you can't accept that. If you can't accept then what happened to you on Saturday. That's part of being in the battle. But my message will ring the same. In order for this team to reach its potential now with 3 weeks left in the regular season, our awareness needs to be better. I just think there are times that mentally we relax, and you can't relax in the battle. And when you relax, you put yourself in position for something to happen as it did down the stretch on Saturday. I thought we just had a relaxed posture mentally for a minute, and in the battle, that can come back to haunt you, and that's what happened to us.
How close do you think you are to putting it all together, having that awareness and, continuing to play with the consistency that you had effort-wise?
I hope soon. I still think from an efficiency standpoint, we're not nearly where we need to be out of certain guys. We're second in the league. I think Arkansas is first in the league in SEC play and scoring. We're second in the league, but we're not as efficient as we need to be. My big three is shooting around 38% from the field, and they're taking the most shots. So therefore, if they're taking the most shots, we need to be more efficient. Those are areas that we've got to continue to improve upon. We've got to continue to tweak maybe some of the things we're doing offensively, put those guys in a better position, and then they've got to own it. They've got to put in the time and the reps and go out and get the job done. Defensively, we'll continue to mix and match. In our last outing versus Mississippi State, it was probably our poorest defensive effort of the year. We were fortunate to survive it when you let an opponent shoot 56% against you, and that's what Mississippi State did. So there's certainly a lot of areas that we need to continue to improve upon. The biggest being, let's become more aware. Don't take possessions off mentally, and that'll be my message going forward.
Going to Mississippi State's kind of always been a struggle for Ole Miss. What are your reasons? Why is it tough to go there?
It's an emotional game, obviously, for all parties. We have not, in the last couple of years, it's hard for me to reflect way back when, but the last couple of years we haven't played well. Last year it was early in the season. We didn't have Marshall. 2 years ago it was late in the season, and it was inexcusable for us to be as flat as we were. Those are my memories of the game, and we put ourselves in a position where it's a 1 or 2 possession game, and we came out on the losing end. I would hope that this group understands, again, as we approach the stretch run, how vital each and every game is, simply because you run out of opportunities. We've only got 6 more regular season games, and they're all very important to us.
Can the success you've had on the road do anything but help?
Well, I think so. We've won 3 straight. We're 4-2 on the road. And the 2 we lost, we were right in the game. So I don't think the atmosphere or the fact that we're on the road will be intimidating at all to this team. We just got to go play well.
You guys got to the free throw line a lot against Mississippi State in the second half earlier this year. Was that kind of a game plan move, or is that just the way that the game played out?
I think it was just relative to the way the game flowed. We've been making free throws at a pretty high rate. Unfortunately, it bit us a bit against Arkansas. It's the first time in league play we've shot under 70%. We lose a 1-point game. So we need to make free throws. Can we maintain an 80% rate for the rest of the year? I would certainly hope so, but I'm not holding my breath for that to hold serve. We've got to attack them. I think we did a good job of attacking the paint just based on the way the game was flowing.
I know you've talked about Jarvis's ankle in the past. Is there anything else physically going on with him right now?
I don't think so. I think he's relatively healthy. I watched the tape, and he hasn't shot the ball good. And when you don't shoot the ball good, him being a senior and him being a veteran, it's a credit to him that he's playing the other areas of his game so well. I think he may be leading the SEC in assist in league play. His assist to turnover still over 2-1. He's still getting the ball to people at the right place. He's just not shooting it good. But his energy, to me, I call it pop. I think he's playing with more pop than he's played with. I thought he was moving at a good rate in our last game. So I think physically he's in a good place. I think we would all like to see the ball go in, and I think if it did, then he would be back to being the Jarvis that we've all come to know.
Is there anything the other guys can do to kind of help him?
Well, I think Moody has taken a huge step forward in the last 2 or 3 weeks, just understanding that you are our leading scorer, you are our leading field goal attempt guy. We're putting you in a position to go make plays, go make them, and that's taken some pressure off Jarvis, which I think is helpful.
Does it put pressure on Moody, though, when Jarvis doesn't score because Snoop is up and down sometimes?
Well, sure. I think, people game plan accordingly, and if a guy's struggling, there's going to be a lot more attention paid to Moody. But I think he's finally to the point where he embraces that. You know, he's coming off being the SEC Player of the Week and hit a big shot in his home state. I think he's embraced that.
Did the tape change any of your opinions after the game from Saturday?
Meaning,
After the game, you felt pretty pleased with the effort, just.
oh, I thought it was a battle. I did not fault our effort at all. You know, we out-rebounded them by 14. We didn't turn it over. We had 8 turnovers in the first half. We ended with 10 against a team that pressures you. I thought the pressure really bothered us early. We adjusted to that. We only shoot 40% from the field. Again, just, you know, timely mistakes at the end. We're up 1 in your own building, under 10 on the clock. We've got the ball handler walled off. And again, we just relaxed a little bit. Let a guy cut behind us and get a layup. And then I would take that same shot again from Jarvis. You know, is that his best shot? Probably not. But we've got our senior point guard in the lane with a pretty clean look. You know, sometimes it was a much more high percentage shot than the one Moody made a few days prior.
You mentioned how important each game is for the next 3 weeks. Obviously, all have been. Is this team's demeanor, do you feel good about how they would approach, you know, the importance?
We've always responded after losses. I'll be anxious to see. Yesterday was an off day for them, so we'll go back and grind. We've got that Thursday, Saturday turn again, which is not going to be easy, but it does give us a extra day on the front end. You know, sometimes there's a lot of guys that will be playing tomorrow night. So we've got to take this week to make sure we're prepared for everything that Mississippi State's going to give us, going there with the right approach, which I'm confident we will.
State was already beginning to play better when they came here. How are they different now than 3 weeks ago?
Well, they're coming off a big road win at Missouri. They're shooting the ball better. They've always played hard. You know, if you look at them statistically, defensively, they've been solid. They rebound the ball. They're just making shots at a much higher rate from the perimeter. They get to the foul line a lot. They're in attack mode. So I think they've played much better in the last month.
Did y'all lose Craig Sword a lot when he was here? Or did he just hit?
Made shots, you know, coming into our first game, he had made, I think, 5 threes on the season, and he made 5 against us. He's a guy that's so explosive with his ability to get by you off the dribble. He gets to the line a lot. He's a slasher first and foremost. And when he's making perimeter shots, he's a handful, and he was making perimeter shots against us.
Do you have anybody nicknamed Chicken?
Not today. I have a few other nicknames that I can't share.
You always seem to know where the numbers are, RPI and all that. So how do you feel about them right now?
We're in the game. You know, there's a lot of times that we've been on the outside looking in. Right now, we're on the inside, but it's not over. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. You know, I appreciate the creativity of bracketology and all of the other terms. It's brilliant marketing. But on Selection Sunday, I think we all get to 68. We're all going to know this. You know, there's going to be 2 or 3 teams that are in question, but everybody else is going to know them. The tournament's not today. You know, we've got 3 weeks. We got to grind through. I told our group, man, and it's a discipline, which hopefully with veterans, they get it a little more than young kids. It's a discipline. You cannot allow yourself to look beyond the next game. You just got to keep your head down. You got to keep grinding, and then you look up in March, and hopefully you'll like your view.
Because there is so much on the bracketology and things now, this day and age, I suppose maybe when you play, is it harder to keep those things?
I address it. I'll address it here in 30 minutes. I don't run
As
from it.
opposed to back then?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't as much, but back then, if you look at it, and Ole Miss was a beneficiary of it. Back then, if you went 8-8 in a major league, you're in. You know, that was really the barometer. You win 20 games, you win 500 in your league, because that was before all of the number crunching and before so much exposure to college basketball, where now people can see, hey, there's teams in the A-10 or the Mountain West that are quality basketball teams, and if the numbers line up, that's really what it comes down to. You got to pass the eye test. I think we've done that. Now our numbers need to line up, and we've got 6 more games that we've got to make sure that we continue to improve and continue to stack wins.
Since about mid-December, y'all have been really consistent. What's been different about this team than maybe some of your other teams in the past that's allowed it to be so consistent?
I think we've got more depth, so we're not nearly as dependent. If you would have told me with the type year statistically that Jarvis has had, we would be sitting here right now, I would have said you've lost your mind. But we've just got more guys. I think this group is deeper. It's more versatile. We're not solely dependent upon one individual, as I think some of the teams in the past have been. You know, the team our best team 2 years ago, where we won 27 games, we were still dependent on a couple of guys playing well, or we weren't going to be able to get over the hump. This group, I think, has just got more weapons.
Anything else? Let's go.
Thanks.